Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today is the day we're going to do a big unboxing. That's right, it's a big unboxing. If I were you, I'd go grab yourself a cup of coffee so that you're going to be able to sit back and enjoy this one because this is going to take quite a while, I'm pretty sure. This is the Chronicles of Drunagor. This is their latest expansion called Apocalypse. And the unboxing I am going to do for you today is going to be for the all-in new content Apocalypse bundle. So this is going to have all the new content. This is my Kickstarter copy, or I should say GameFound copy, that Colin and I backed. So we're super excited to dig into this and see what's all about this game. There is a ton of boxes. I know you just see a couple here, but there is the Awakenings, which is a calyx in itself. Then we have the Apocalypse Age of Darkness core box here, which again is a calyx shelf in itself. And then we have the update pack. We have the Hero Pack 1, the companions and furniture. And to top it off, we've got a giant box that will not fit in a calyx called the 4 Horsemen. So there is going to be a massive amount of things to unbox here. Let's dig into it. If you're excited to see what's part of the all-in new content Apocalypse bundle for Chronicles of Drunagor, then I need you to meet me at the table. Before we get to the unboxing of this, I want to mention that in order to play anything you see during this unboxing, you do need the core game Chronicles of Drunagor Age of Darkness. That was part of the original crowdfunding experience for Chronicles of Drunagor. And if you're interested in seeing what is in that box or even a playthrough of it, you can check out my channel. The link to all of those things I'll try to put in the description of this video. Otherwise, if you search my channel for Chronicles of Drunagor, you'll find that Colin and I did some videos. I think we did 4 videos of that game that are on the channel, and also I did a full unboxing of everything from the original crowdfunding. That is the original Chronicles of Drunagor Age of Darkness core box and all the expansions that went along with it. But for now, we're going to be unboxing all the new stuff that is coming out, and so let's check out what is inside Age of Darkness, the Apocalypse. This game is for 1 to 4 players, and it takes you on a massive, huge narrative experience through a dungeon crawl game. From what I understand, there's up to at least 70 hours of gameplay in this, so we'll see how this all transpires. We have a code that is going to be able to get, or not a code, but it does have a way to get you to Foreteller. For those of you that don't know who Foreteller is an amazing company that does narrations for a lot of the giant dungeon crawler games. And on top of that, it also has ambient sounds that you can use in your games or even inside of, say, you play any tabletop games of that nature. So please go check out Foreteller. I'm a big fan of them. I'm not getting endorsed by them at all. I just really enjoy what they do. It looks like we have some bosses that are going to be part of the game. We'll look at those later. We have the rules and interactions for the Apocalypse game. We have the adventure book, which is pretty thick. And like I said, I believe the entire core game is narrated by Foreteller. I could be wrong enough to go to their website and check it out. Then it looks like we have a story record sheet where you can be able to keep track of everything that's happened to you in the game, including different outcomes that may change the way the story progresses through the game. And also having followers here and unfolding epilogues, the different epilogues that happen. They've done a lot to really make this an immersive experience for you, the player. They've changed some of this from the original core game when it comes to making it more immersive and more of a dynamic story for you. So here is the story records. We'll put that to the side. They've done a lot of things to enhance the gameplay when it comes to rules as well. They've gone back. This is the rule book for the new Age of Apocalypse here, for the game. They have updated rules, and the good news is it kind of tells you when they've upgraded things. So it says that the Apocalypse exclusive progression features, they have that. They also have how game mechanic updated. They talk about new game mechanics such as interrupts. They've talked about the way that they've changed some of the rules going forward in the game, I think here it was. For example, they have a rules variation for darkness spawning. So if you didn't like the original way to do it, you could use the new way here. They have rule clarifications now that weren't probably clarified as well during the original core game, which is kind of nice. And they've updated rules for the game to give less, so you have a better understanding of how to interact with the different rules. There's always so many different rules that happen in dungeon crawlers that the game itself has, I can't even imagine trying to write a rule book for it because there's already so many different things that could happen. Now, one of the cool things about this game game is they do sometimes get to points where you're going to have pictures, and you're going to have to decide for your character what they want to investigate. For example, we're on a boat here. Now, I don't know when this comes in the game, and I hope I'm not spoiling too much, but it's just one picture. And there's, as you can tell, tons of pictures in this that are going to happen throughout the game. And this one might even not come up in the game because you might have gone down a different path, but you'll be able to like unlock the anchor and pulley, or you could raise the anchor. And if you do that, you're going to go to different points in the storybook and read those. Our storybook, adventure book, is this long. It's a huge book, and it even has rules about the adventure book at the beginning, the table of contents, and it talks about that story record sheet that we have, since it's a new thing for this. And you even talks about how you can do one-shot adventures if you're interested in doing that. It talks about adding and removing heroes, so you can always try new things. And then we enter the apocalypse. This is going to be the beginning of the campaign, and you're going to see here, you're going to mark folk hero background on the story record sheet. And I'm not really spoiling things because you start here and you're going to eventually hit that. So then you'd put that on your story record sheet, which is kind of cool. So going forward, you're going to have that as a tag or something for your background that's going to maybe interact with other parts of the story going down the line there. So huge adventure book. Like I said, in theory, it has about 70 hours of gameplay inside of it. Now let's get to the rest of this box. We have our punch boards. Let's quickly go over those. The first set of punch boards we have is, first you have a couple bridges. The cool thing about this game, and we're going to get to it eventually, is that this game is all played out on these cool tiles like this, and you can bridge the gap between these different areas of the board, and I'll show you a little bit about that as we go forward. We also have a whole bunch of different interactive tokens that are going to be potentially part of the experience on the board, or it could be status ailments that are affecting you, or boons that are giving you an advantage. These are going to be dividers for the cards going into your box that'll help you find what you need to find. I will tell you, this game has an absolute mountain of tokens when it comes to different status effects and things of that nature, but they're easily referenced to a reference sheet. But do know there are a lot of different status tokens that you are going to be experiencing in this game. If you're interested in seeing a lot more of them, check out my other unboxing. The core game itself comes with a lot of different tokens. Now, of course, these could be some of the newer tokens that are specific for this particular expansion. We also have, this is going to be something new. The bosses are going to have, if you're interested, you could use just standees, but instead of just being a standee on the board, you're going to kind of create a whole base for them and then put them into the base. So it actually becomes a bigger creature on the board. Instead of just being a giant one-drop minute standee, you actually are creating this base for it on the ground, which is kind of neat. We have some more card holders here, and then these are some standees for some of the enemies if you're interested in using those, or of course you can use the miniatures, I believe, that come in this as well. We also again have some more status effects here, and then or tokens that are going to be used for the game. I believe this is a key token, and they are double-sided, and they are going to be, so it's a 1 or 2, or for example, some of these that might have different positive sides on one side, it might have a negative side on the other, but this one isn't like that. We have, let's see here, okay, that's, and then we have another big giant boss here that we could assemble if we wish to. This one is absolutely out of control. We've got a giant dragon on the cover here, this one, and then we have a banner up there. I wonder if the banner is the same on the other side. Yes, it is. Okay, so we got the same thing on the other side. This one is, again, another boss with some more tokens and some more characters that we can punch out here. And the thing is the same on both sides. Coming forward, we now look like we have the top of that dragon that we saw already, or the other part of it. Then we have some more characters here. We have a token, a giant token here. I'm not sure what this one's for, and I'm not exactly sure what all these tokens are for. We'll have to see what they're for during the game. Now, these are going to be your upgrade tokens that you can use for your characters. So as you level up, you'll be able to gain some of these tokens. For example, we could get the Path of Strength, which would have this. It'll give us this special ability if we punch it out, that is going to be able to battle for concentration, self-focus 2, and cleanse 1. And cleansing gets rid of some of the darkness that your characters may have experienced, and being able to focus probably gives you a better chance to attack. It's been a while since I played. I can't remember fully what all the different things do from the upgrades, but I like the fact that they have their whole bunch of these that you can go through, and you can really customize your character to be exactly what you want to. There's the rest of the punch boards. That's all the punch boards there are. There's a whole ton more in here. Like I said, these game trades, I think it's Game Trades. Is that the company that did this? I can't remember. They can hold all the tokens, so they're easily able to get those tokens since there are so many of them. So we'll put this aside to put the tokens in later, and I believe these are going to be the cool things that you can put your So some of these are going to be used, well, one of them holds the miniatures. Here's the miniatures, and these miniatures are top notch. I will say these miniatures are top notch. If you look really closely at these, highly detailed miniatures that look really awesome. I painted up a few of these from the original core game, and they are phenomenal. I really think these miniatures look fantastic when it comes to how they've designed them and what they look like and how they actually have all this detail on them. I mean, this wizard guy right here I could use in any other game I play, and I think I'd be really satisfied. So the miniatures are top notch, and as you can see, we have all these different overlay tiles that are going to go onto our different boards, and that's going to make out your specific dungeon that you're going to be playing through in accordance with the story. And so this could be on one of the big giant tiles like this, and it'd be out there like that. And then something down here could be, you could have to maybe go down a level to get to this one. And then there might be another one that's up here. It's even higher. It could be up over on this side, depending on if you stack two of the trays up and you'll put this one on top of it. So you can experience all these different levels of the game. The game it looks really cool on the table with all the different levels and terrain that are going to be part of the game and the different types of interactive character, or what are these overlay boards that they have. As you can see, there are a ton of different ones. Here's a whole thing with a ruined like entrance to a temple or something with water in there, a big pool of water. Again, they have more of this like now a summoning circle or something there that you can have to deal with. And I believe these are double-sided, so there's completely something different on the other side. And as you go through the game, it'll tell you which ones to pull out and put onto the board. And of course, some of them are going to be awesome because they're going to expand big things. And like I said, there's also those bridges that are going to potentially maybe get you from one side to the other. And you could push people off bridges. They can take damage. So there's a lot of different ways of interacting with it. There's a whole bunch of different overlays of different sizes going forward. Let's see, I'll put this one away. I'm not going to open all of these. I think you get the idea of what the overlays look like and what they do. We have another huge place to be able to hold all of our cards and everything for our game. And like, it does have some fantastic ability to sort the cards in here, which is super good. I'm a huge fan of a good insert. Sometimes it's hard to find good inserts for games. It's great to see that this company has really gone forward in finding a fantastic solution to keeping everything organized for you going forward. And here's some of the, oh, these are cool. These are the doors. So it might tell you to go to a door. When you get to that door, you're going to have to open the door and figure out what's inside. And you can choose, I think if I remember it, the way the doors work is you can flip them over and use the door as is, but if you want to have like a random different challenge or something, you can go to this QR code and it will show you what is behind the door. So you're not actually knowing what it is based on what you see in the storybook. I think that's a fantastic way of doing it. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of different doors here. So you're going to put that door out there. It folds up. It has some folding here. And as you fold it all up, then after that, you can, then when you go to the door, you'll open it and you can either, you can either do the stuff that's on the back, or you would go to this QR code and deal with it there. The doors in this game, I really like that system. I think that's great. Now we continue going on. Oh my gosh, lots of scraping. We have another insert here. This one is going to have your things for the different standees, or of course we have more miniatures here. This thing looks awesome. This is like a Cthulhu type guy of some kind, some fish man guy. Okay, looks like he's holding up the heart of somebody or something. Maybe he pulled it out of a chest of somebody like Mola Ram from Indiana Jones. We have some cards that I believe are going to be specific for the characters and things for this adventure. Now, before I look at any of these cards, I do want to mention there's probably going to be spoilers in these cards, because as I'm kind of looking through them, they're in no semblance of order. It's just mass chaos. You've got weapons here. You've got more items that you can gain through this game, is my guess. These are all different. I don't know why they're in multiple different ways of putting this all together. We do have starting gear. I have no problem showing you that. It shows you some of what skills these kind of is used for. This is a D20 system, so you're going to be rolling specific 20-siders to see if you hit or not, and then if you do that, then you're going to do damage based on, I think, your abilities of your character. We have like a falchion here, a falchion, same type of deal. Now the interesting thing is they all roll a 9+, but they all have a different potential symbol up here that's going to activate certain powers as they go forward. This is armor you can wear, which will be a self-prevent 6. And now this game does have a bunch of cubes. If you watch the unboxing of the original core game I did, there's a lot, or our playthrough, the cube system is really unique in this game, where you place the different cubes, and when you can't place more cubes, then you gain darkness cubes and things of that nature. So it's a really cool system, being able to activate different powers and have powers available to you. You're not always going to be able to use everything on your board. It only depends on what cubes you have left or you are going to be able to gain that you can use to activate certain items and abilities, which is kind of cool. So, and again, like I said, it's just all all over the place. And if I continue going, there are there's special mechanic cards in here. There's different item cards. There's followers. There's enemies. There's a whole bunch of things, and all just splattered through here. There's different types of rule cards. There's rune cards in here. There's some new enemies. I believe this is a new enemy. I don't know when you're going to fight this guy, so I'm just holding one up. I hope you can see it, and I hope it's not spoiling too much, but it does have all the stats and everything for it. It talks about what it's immune. It's immune to bleed, I'm guessing is what that is, if I remember right. Like I said, there's a lot of different iconography in this game and tokens in this game. We have a controller here. We continue on. Again, here's a rune card just hanging out. Now, of course, these could be set, I haven't played it, so this could be set in the order of how it could probably gain them in the game. So maybe that's why they're all in this big kind of conglomeration mess here that doesn't have any rhyme or reason as to why it's all put together. Again, we have special mechanic cards. This is the Pale Death special mechanic card, number 543. So as you're going, when you enter this area and have to deal with this, here's your mechanic cards for it. You have different bosses or minion cards and enemies that are in here. Here's the War, was it the War Horsemen? One of the attack cards, I'm sure, from it. We have, and here's the Famine Horsemen, the Plague Horsemen. So they're all the different horsemen are here, which is kind of awesome. I'm excited to hear heroism. These must be the different skills that you can get for your legacy, because as you, I believe, you go through your background, I'll bet you get legacy cards based on how you do in your background. Tragedy, perseverance, things of that nature. Again, these are more enemies. This is the veteran, and on the backside, it's the veteran standard, the veteran alternate. So you can, again, give yourself some more randomization as to how the game is played. It gives you get the idea of being able to put out more things. Here's a veteran enemy here. Alternate for the champion or a champion standard, and and of course we have more items you can gain as loot cards. So we got the Scroll of Copycat, and I'm sure all this is going to be mixed together with the core game as well as you go through the game, and more stuff will be added to it and unadded to it. If I remember right, in the beginning game you had only a small stack of items that you could gain through the different treasure chests and things of that nature, but as you progress through the story, more things unlock, so you have better chance of finding cooler stuff to be able to upgrade your characters, not only with stats but with the items as well. All right, that is what's in this box. Let's move on to the next one. Moving on to our next box. This is, again, like I said, almost the size of a calyx right here. This is going to be the Age of Darkness. This is another expansion that is built into the Chronicles of Drunagor. It's you can play, I think, a 9-mission expansion. It comes with a few new heroes that you can play with in this game. And it starts with a punchboard. We've got lots of punchboards here. Looks like we have some cannons now. Why not? We can shoot some cannons. And some other tokens that we're going to be used probably for this campaign or to add to our collection of tokens that we have from our other campaigns. We have a couple standees here that we can use, and another banner, when I believe nothing on here is dual-sided. No, it's not dual-sided, but they, like I said, some do actually go from 1 to 2, so it does give you the ability to keep track of some of the abilities and things that your characters have. Moving on, we got a giant black foam piece here. We'll get rid of that. Then we have our campaign log for this particular campaign. You'll put your party name and all the followers and outcomes and statuses, and it'll talk about how you're going through. So it looks less branching than some of the than maybe the other one is, because it looks like you just kind of go straight down. But hey, I'm sure it's going to be lots of fun. I'm sure the thing in the game, I'm sure as you pick different things, it's going to still affect how the game goes, but you're still going to be going down this same little path here. We have our adventure book, which is pretty big. Continuing on, it looks like we do have some new dungeon rolls. As you, when you pick your character, I believe you also get to pick a role. Again, it's been a while since I've played this, but I believe you get to pick a role to see what you want to do. So you could have like a bruiser, kind of fighter guy, but have the healer role, be able to heal people along with some of the other things you do. So you have Warden, Trickster, Slayer, Bruiser, and Healer. These are all new dungeon rolls. That's kind of cool to have dungeon rolls for your characters. That's awesome. All right, then we have some more of those doors that we looked at from the other one. Again, as you'll be able to look on the backside and it'll tell you how to set up some of the tiles, or you can go here and it'll set them up for you. Again, we have more dungeon overlay tiles that are going to be specific for this adventure, and they have multiple ones here that we can use. This will be pretty neat. We have the miniatures for this expansion right here. Let's see who we have here. Looks like we have a guy holding a stick. It looks like something out of Star Wars, one of the jumping up in the air, screaming, the sand people. Let's see what else we have. We have a, looks like a demonic type creature here. Nice looking miniature. These are all really cool. We have 4 Minotaur looking creatures here that are going to be specific for this specific campaign, which is kind of cool. And we got 4 extra slots down there. Why not? It's always good to have extras. We'll put those to the side. And we have, oh my gosh, seriously? Oh, these are some of the ones that are, okay, so some of the, these are going to be the crossover characters, I believe. We have Nyx. Nyx is from Madara, which is one of my favorite games of all time. This is awesome. Now, I might not know all the different crossover characters, but oh my gosh, this is super cool. And of course, we have some of the new characters in here, I'll bet, as well. But let's look at these. We have Nyx. Nyx has her own abilities here. Oh, now I almost want to play just to play this character. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. We have Warkrin. We have Andreas. We have Catherine. These must be the crossover characters. I apologize if I don't know what all the games are. I recognize that one right off the bat, but I apologize if I don't know the other ones from this game, from these games. So, right, and yeah, they got backsides as well. I wonder if they're the same thing. So it's a Succubus Assassin. That's pretty awesome. A Succubus Sword Mage. So there are different roles that you could play in the game. As opposed, he has Cleric and Necromancer. I think one's more of an evil one, where one is more of a good character. Interesting. Shaman and Necromancer or something, I bet? Nope, Human Mage. Okay. Mage or Shaman. We've got a Warlord or a Warrior. Interesting. Okay, that was cool. That was awesome. All right, let's continue on. Another token tray that we can use. And then here are some of the big other miniatures for the game. This is going to have our crossover characters. Here's Nyx. This is pretty awesome. Again, very similar to the pose she has and just the whole style of her from Madara. Super cool that that's in the game. We have some, I don't even know what this is. It looks like a bunch of goblin people crawling all over each other. That's something else. We got 3 of those. This is the big boss of the entire game that you're going to play in this campaign. Is right here. That's pretty awesome. Okay, that's cool. We got some other neat miniatures. Like I said, I'm really impressed with the miniatures of these. I think these look really cool. All right, let's put those away and continue on. I bet there's just going to be some more cards. Oh, here's some of the new dashboards. Okay, now I believe if I remember right, they had 2 different ways of making the dashboards. This was one way, and this is the other way that you can have your character on the board, which maybe is able to reduce the amount of space it takes on the board. I can't remember. I know there was a big thing about this, but one of them had Kickstarter versions of the player boards, and the other ones did not. So we have the Path of the Mystic. Here's just the player boards for these particular characters, just expanded and become bigger. There's not much other than what you saw from the original one here. These are just bigger, that give you more ideas of what these characters can do. Then they have awesome art, of course, as well, which is pretty sweet. Here's Nyx again. It's super cool. I know I keep coming back to her, but I'm a huge fan of Madara, so it's awesome to see when characters from other games I know come into these games. And then these cards are going to be very similar to the other cards, so I'm not actually going to open them, but it does have a storage solution for a lot more miniatures that you may have from the other games that you want to store in this one. I'm guessing that they helped with some of the storage solutions from maybe the original Kickstarter, but these are all going to be different things that have to do with this campaign. It's going to have items, it's going to have new, what do you call them, treasure chest thingies that you find, spoils of war, I guess you could say, and different upgrade for the characters and things like that. So they're all just in there. I'm not going to open them because we've seen what some of the cards look like already. There you go. Oh, check this out. She's right here on the box. On the box. The next box we're going to dig into is the 4 Horsemen Apocalypse Pledge box here. Let's see what is in there. Now, I'll tell you what's exactly in there. It's just the miniatures for those big giant monsters you saw in the core game box that was all built as standees. This is, I believe, Pestilence. I'll bet this is a Pestilence model here with this, like, it almost looks like gooey stuff, and this poor guy stuck in the tail here. We have Death, I believe is this one, on a giant death horse. This horse looks absolutely a skeletal horse of some kind. Looks absolutely awesome. It has some people down here cradling their young or something. It looks pretty graphic here. So that's that one. And then we have War. I think that's what this one is. This is going to be War with a big spiked tail. Now the last one, I'm not sure if we'll get in the picture. We'll give it our best shot. It's a giant dragon that you saw, and this is sitting right on the box. This thing, okay, here is my hand. It is as big as my hand over here. It's 2 hands big and 1 hand size big this way. Look at this thing. It's sitting on top of a giant building here. It absolutely looks amazing. This model looks super cool. It's got like all this neat engraving in here. Like I said, the models in this are absolutely bonkers, unbelievable. There's somebody riding it, no idea who that is, but This is a giant miniature. So that's what's in the Four Horsemen Age of Apocalypse, Age of Darkness, sorry, Chronicle of Drunagor box. We have 2 boxes left. The first one is called the Companions and Furniture expansion. This is really purely cosmetic for the most part. There are a few miniatures in here that are probably used for some of the enemies and things that weren't in the original game or that had a miniature for it, or it could be expanding the amount of miniatures. Again, not exactly sure. We have this guy here with spikes all over himself. He might be part of either one of the games. I'm not exactly sure which one, but the cool thing is now you get these cool looking pillars, which can be used in your game to add just more, make it more dynamic. And of course you have to paint these all up. Well, you don't have to, but if you wanted to really look cool, you want to paint them up. We've got different boxes from maybe down at the docks. We've got a pedestal here, it looks like, that maybe your guys can stand on and interact with at some point. And we have some extra miniatures as well. That's going to be what's in this. This is the Companions and Furniture expansion. Then we have the Hero Pack 1. This is going to give us more heroes that we can play with. I think there's 4 new classes and everything. It has a set of punchboards with, of course, the tokens that go along with it, and a giant cat, I guess. Okay, we got a giant cat. They have 2 different ways of using the characters. You can use it with that type of board, or you can have this type of board together where you work with them together, depending on your table space, from what I understand. We have the path of, here's the different people. I'm going to open this up so we can look at the big ones, because the art is bigger and it just looks awesome. So we're going to open these up, see what they're all about, and see what the new type of classes that they have in here are going to be. We, of course, have the human sword mage. We have a dwarf warlord, a draconian shaman, and we have an Azurian necromancer. And, of course, these are dual-sided. You can also play as an orc shaman, an Ifrit warlord, a Valkyrie sword mage, and a human necromancer. Let's see here. I think, was he the same? Draconian shaman and a orc shaman. So there are a couple that are, the classes are very similar. We have the miniatures for all of them in here. Oh my gosh, look at this one. This looks pretty awesome. You can't get wrong with this one. This is that Valkyrie that you can play as. That's pretty neat. We have this character here with the giant banner. So now they're actually holding the banner instead of needing the punch out for it. We have, I believe, the Necromancer right here. Here is the Necromancer holding up his staff. It is a crooked staff. It's supposed to be like that. It has nothing to do with needing to be reformed or anything. This person looks awesome with a giant scythe. That looks really cool. So those are the characters there. We have the stands for the standees, and then we have all the different character cards that go along with them. Here are the different cards. I believe these are the starting cubes that this character would have that they can use during their turns to activate them. And of course, those you can gain more cubes during the adventures, I believe, going forward. Here's the cat, the pet panther, and these are going to be a bunch of different skills that you can get that are going to be able to help you out. So you can get, for example, wind walk, that you can use a green cube to be able to do this or this. But of course, once you use that green cube, since you only have one, you'll have to try to get it back before you can use any of those skills again. There are ones that are passive, so you can that'll always be going on, but some of these are going to need to drop cubes in order to do it. And these, of course, are for each of the different characters. Here's like the ones for the Valkyrie here. Hold the line. I'm going to guess more of a character that kind of can, I was going to say hold the front line and attack, but some of them can be used as different characters, so you could maybe build this character out to be a ranged character if you want to. Here's the Sword Mage cards. For Sword Mastery, Lifeline, we have Abjuration or Nether Walker, so some skills for that character, and each of them have those skills back here. So those are the cards that go along with this expansion in order to be able to use these new characters in the game. And then we have, of course, the boards that tell you a little bit about what the character is, and I believe these are like paths that you can go down to be able to unlock different skills or abilities. Again, don't quote me on that. I can't remember exactly. It's been, like I said, a long time since I've played this. We got one for the hero class, which is the top part, or the necromancer down here. Oh no, these are the hero class and necromancer, and on the back side it tells you a little bit about each of the classes here: warlords and shadow mages, shamans, and necromancer. So it has just the different cards that can go along with it. And these I'm not going to open because these are really just the same thing that you saw in here, just a little bit smaller from what I understand. So there you go. That is that box. The last thing to unbox is the update pack for Chronicles of Drunagor Age of Darkness. If this is your first time into Chronicles of Drunagor and you got like the all-in pledge, this is probably not something you're getting. But if you originally backed the first game or first crowdfunding of Chronicles of Drunagor, we're going to be part of it because he's going to upgrade everything to the new version of the game, or be able to get cards more understandable and things of that nature. But I believe these are all just going to bring this up to the point of of where the game is now. So it has all the different items and enemies and things that are going to upgrade this to the new, I guess you could say like 2.0 version. I don't know if that's really a way to think about it. And so these are just all the cards that are going to be reworked for that version, or be able to change it so that you have, because I know the new game that we were just unboxing has different variations of it. So these might be the way of being able to bring these variations up there. I apologize, I don't know exactly everything that's being updated in this, but it looks like some of the map tiles are being updated. Also, the doors have all been redone so that they are going to be changed enough. We have a new rule book here, so all the updated rules are going to be found inside this rule book. It has an interaction book that is going to have those pictures like we saw earlier in that when I showed the other game. This has the interaction book where you're going to be able to pick a place and then decide what you want to do. And I've played this part, so I know that this is actually the first one you see. So I'm, again, not spoiling something that's going to happen during the first part of the game. Then you'll be able to have to deal with this in a certain way, depending on what character you decide to use. Is going to be whoever gets there gets to deal with that. We have the Chronicles of Drunagor adventure book here, and that's also got some changes to it. I'm sure maybe rewriting some of the stuff, or spell checking, or just overall ease of understanding it could be done. So that's really all that's in here, is just the 3 books and the updates to the cards. Again, I apologize, I don't know all the updates that are happening, so going through the cards really wouldn't help me, because I wouldn't know what I'd be showing you that is updated and what's not. And it does come with a nice little token pack to be able to hold all your tokens. Like I said, there are a ton of tokens, so it's nice to have these things to be able to separate out all those different tokens that you have. So that is the Chronicle of Drunagor's Age of Darkness update pack, and that's going to be it. That is the unboxing. Oh, I hope you're able to stick around for the whole thing, for the Chronicle of Drunagor Age of Darkness, I guess, and Apocalypse, this whole extravaganza. This is a super fun game. Colin and I played a few adventures in it. I'll make sure to try to put a link to those in the descriptions. You can check those out. Also, I did an unboxing of the original crowdfunding that you can go check out as well on the description of this video. So if you're interested in seeing what was that, you're welcome to. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more content comes out. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. Have you had a chance to play through the first part of Chronicles of Drunagor and are now super excited for all these expansions? Or were you waiting for all this new content to come out before you jumped back into this game? Now, as for Colin and I don't know if we're going to be doing any more playthroughs of this game, because we've already done some of the original game, so I don't think we're going to do anything on the expansion stuff, but we'll talk to Colin and we'll decide if that's something we're interested in doing going forward. If you're interested in supporting the channel, a link to my Patreon is also found in the description of this video. Please feel free to join the Patreon if you wish. Those that have already joined are shown here on the screen. Thank you so much for your patronage. It means the world to me. Some of the perks that the people in the Patreon get is, 1, they get to see all of my playthrough videos early before they go live without commercial interruptions. On top of that, in games such as Chronicles of Drunagor, I would look to my Patrons to help decide what characters we're going to use, and as we go through the game, how we would upgrade those characters to bring them on, to continue into the adventure. That way, the Patreon supporters get a chance of being able to have a say in how the game progresses as it unfolds. Again, thank you so much for watching, and if you're excited to see what Colin and I have coming up next, then I need you to meet me at the table.